In the 20 years since Los Angeles was turned upside down, the city still faces its share of challenges.
We have 140 languages spoken in the city of LA. It's impossible for any one human being to understand every culture. Every day is a challenge because of the dynamics.
But the riots still haunt some who are at the center of the unrest.
I always have flashbacks when I come here and feel sorry and feel regret.
Bobby Green, who risked his life to save Reginald Denny, left Los Angeles shortly after the riots.
Ain't no reason me to come back to LA. Give me a bad vibe. You know what I'm saying? I always think about what happened back in the 90s, the riots. It's a bad vibe for me.
Green now lives an hour away in Rialto, California. Ironically, one of his suburban neighbors is Rodney King. King's working-class neighborhood has a postcard view of the San Gabriel Mountains. He has a modest home with a backyard pool. Today, King is a father of 3 and has 2 grandchildren. He's 20 years older and, according to him, a lot wiser. King admits his past is riddled with bad decisions.
If you could do it all over again, what would you do? Would you go out that night? Would you?
I'd have stayed home. I think I'd have stayed home.
For years after the beating, Rodney King continued to have run-ins with the law. In 1996, he was sentenced to 90 days for a hit-and-run involving his wife. He was also arrested several times on charges related to domestic abuse, drug intoxication, and indecent exposure.
Why after all that? That's what people would say, especially black people. Why after all that, Rodney, are you still getting in trouble?
I guess the trouble that they see me in is a part of my life that I'm working on.
King's admitted alcoholism and personal problems also caused him to virtually squander his share of the settlement, worth, according to him, $1.5 million. He purchased homes for himself and his mother. But what did he do with the rest of the money?
Did you hang on to that money or did you throw it away?
When I get that shot again, we all know how money can come and it can go. I mean, save, save, save for tomorrow.
You're telling me it's gone.
It's pretty much.
And 20 years later, Rodney King still lives in fear.
Years after the beating, you wore a vest?
Yeah.
Do you still wear a vest?
Yeah, I do.
He wears a bulletproof vest in large crowds because threats against his life were all too real. The FBI once infiltrated a white supremacist plot to assassinate King.
Are you constantly looking over your shoulder?
I never feel safe, it's just things that happen. When you are part of history and it changes for the better, you got a lot of devilish people out there that don't like it.
And King continues to battle his demons. In 2008, after several stints in rehab, he turned to psychiatrist Dr. Drew Pinsky, appearing on VH1's Celebrity Rehab.
We're gonna have a lot of feelings, a lot of anger, and a lot of God knows what.
It is. It's with me, but I just, I don't bring it up unless it's.
Well, tell me about it.
King now admits alcoholism is a lifelong battle that is far from over.
I always have an issue when it comes to alcohol. Well, my dad was an alcoholic. The addiction part is in my blood. What I've learned to do is arrest my addiction, arrest it myself, so I don't get arrested.
He says he's finally able to keep many of his demons at bay. He's even fallen in love.
She's a nice, friendly person.
Remember Cynthia Kelly, one of the jurors from King's civil suit? In a strange twist, the two are now engaged.
Do you feel like you owe her in some way?
No.
Anything?
Not at all.
I do.
I don't. I don't.
King and Kelly formed a friendship immediately after the trial. They would decide to marry 16 years later.
What are you guys looking forward to together?
Well, I know one thing, she cooks good.
Yeah, this is the fish.
Oh, you put it in the batter.
How do you describe the strange twist of affairs
It's just the chemistry. We get along, we have fun, we laugh, we have the same, things we like to do, and it just happened.
But Kelly realizes there are still serious challenges ahead.
When he sleeps, he has so many nightmares and fighting in his sleep.
You're his rock?
As long as he don't break it.
How could you love someone like Rodney King?
He's a lovable type of guy. He's like a little teddy bear.
2 decades after the beating that made him a household name, Rodney King says the mistakes of his past have taught him some tough lessons, a history he does not want to repeat.
When Rodney King had the blood on his face, that mugshot of you with the blood on your face, who was he then?
Oh man, a guy that was almost dead and just like happy to be able to still have that face, to be able to see that face.
And Rodney King now, all cleaned up, trimmed goatee, beads around his neck. Who is Rodney King now?
I consider myself a decent, good human being.
Are you able to forgive those cops?
Oh yeah, I've been given a break many times in life. And everybody's entitled to a break, I didn't die, you know what I mean?
No animosity.
Nah, for what?